and welcome to the lecture regarding mandatory education in the profession of nursing and QSIN. First, let's discuss mandatory education for nurses. To begin, nurses must first successfully complete an RN education at an accredited nursing education program that included at minimum 400 clinical hours, and the students are required to have the following: a criminal background check, a driver's license on file, a college transcript, and you must apply in the state that you will be practicing for the NCLEX exam test date and time within 12 months after graduation. Again, the nursing school must be accredited, and the accrediting body is ACEN. ACEN stands for Accreditation Council for Education in Nursing. An applicant for a license to practice as a registered nurse shall be submitted to the board with written evidence, verified by oath, that the applicant has done the following: is a graduate of and holds a certificate from the State Board of Nursing approved nursing education program that is authorized to prepare persons for licensure as a registered nurse. Number 2, demonstrates competency in English related to nursing. If you remember, you had to take English courses as prereqs. Number 3, you have earned a high school diploma or its equivalent. If you also remember that in order to be applying to the nursing program, you had to have your high school transcript on file. Your advisor told you that this was a requirement of the Board of Nursing, not DTCC. Number 4, is of such satisfactory physical and mental health as consistent with the Americans with Disabilities Act. And number 5, the applicant must have committed no acts which are grounds for disciplinary action as set forth in Title 1922A. There may be a hearing called to review documentation to demonstrate that the applicant meets specified criteria for a waiver. The board must affirm this with a majority vote of the quorum, and things can be waived. A waiver can be received if an applicant has committed a felony conviction more than 5 years' time has elapsed since the date of conviction. At this time of the application, the applicant may not be incarcerated, on work release, on probation, on parole, or serving any part of a suspended sentence, and must be in substantial compliance with all court orders pertaining to fines, restitution, and community service. A waiver also can be given if a misdemeanor conviction or violation at the time of application, the applicant may not be incarcerated, on work release, on probation, on parole, or serving any part of a suspended sentence, and must be in substantial compliance with all court orders pertaining to fines, restitution, and community service. A waiver also may be granted if the applicant is capable of practicing nursing in competent and professional manner. The granting of a waiver will not endanger the public health, safety, or welfare, or the applicant has not been convicted of a felony sexual offense. I want to mention that licensure can be achieved through endorsement, which means it's a way to get a license in a new state without having to take the licensure exam. This may be able to occur if the applicant demonstrates active employment in professional nursing in the past 5 years, or satisfactory completion of a professional nursing refresher program with an approved agency within 2 years prior to filling out the application. In the event of no refresher courses available, the board may consider alternate methods of evaluating current knowledge in a professional nursing, and has passed the standard national examination for registered nursing. The National Council State Board of Nursing shall establish the passing score. Nursing education standards. So in order to develop an approved accrediting program, all nursing education programs have to meet certain standards. I'm not going to list all of them, but I will mention a few. For example, the nursing program shall implement a comprehensive, systematic plan for ongoing evaluation that is based on program outcomes and incorporates continual improvement. The curriculum shall provide diverse didactic and clinical learning experiences consistent with program outcomes. The nursing program administrator or director shall be professionally and academically qualified registered nurse with institutional authority and administrative responsibility for the program. So you can go on the Board of Nursing website and read the standards that programs must meet. So there's a lot going into when a curriculum is developed and when the approval is granted to a nursing program through ACEN. Once you are licensed in Delaware, you must complete 30 continuing education hours that is approved by the Board of Nursing. 3 of these hours must pertain to substance abuse in Delaware. Each state is different and may vary on their requirements for licensure renewal. For example, Kentucky requires 3 hours of domestic violence training. Florida requires 3 hours of HIV testing or training. Know your state requirements. The number of hours vary from state to state, and some states do not even require continual education hours. Reciprocity is worth mentioning, and that is when a state allows a nurse to transfer their nursing license from another state. Not all states have reciprocity, so it's important to know which state has it. A compact license is a nurse licensure compact agreement that provides a multi-state license that allows a nurse to practice with patients across state lines. There are 39 nurse licensure compact states. Again, please find on the Board of Nursing, State Board of Nursing, which states offer compact licenses. If a nurse fails to work or practice 1,000 hours in a 5-year period or 400 hours in a 2-year period, their license will not be able to be renewed without completing an RN refresher course. This course must be approved by the Board of Nursing and consists of 40 hours of theory and 80 hours of clinical and a written examination. A nurse must also maintain basic life support certification and renew every 2 years. Depending on the unit a nurse is working on, you may have additional certification that's required. For example, ACLS or Advanced Cardiac Life Support. This also needs to be reviewed every 2 years. I want to touch on QSIN, which stands for Quality and Safety Education for Nurses. If you remember, we talked about To Err is Human report that was done by the Institute of Medicine. And the result of the To Err is Human report was one of our goals being to prevent injuries and deaths that occur in hospitals. We learned that there are thousands of deaths that occur each year in hospitals that are prevented. So the QSIN project was developed as a result of To Err is Human in 1999. And QSIN lists 6 different competencies. These competencies are found in your ATI leadership book, and they include the following: patient-centered care, teamwork and collaboration, evidence-based practice, quality improvement, safety, and informatics. Patient-centered care is the provision of caring, compassionate, and culturally sensitive care that meets all the needs of a client. Teamwork and collaboration means that nurses must collaborate with a multidisciplinary team in order to promote continuity of care and positive client outcomes. Evidence-based practice is the use of knowledge from research and other credible sources to base our clinical judgment in client care. Quality improvement is an organizational process that develops ways to improve healthcare services and better meet clients' needs. Safety, we are to minimize risk factors that could potentially cause injury or harm while promoting quality care and maintaining a safe environment for our clients. Remember the national patient safety goals that we talked about. And last, informatics, the use of information technology to promote communication and information gathering to support our clinical decision making and scientifically based nursing practice.